guys, let's get right into it. Now see, I told y'all that Lanithia was drunk at that goddess party. She admitted it in this episode. She's terrible sober, so I know she's even worse drunk. She was in no state of mind to have that conversation. I think she probably would have been able to, let the girls do the reenactment or have like a really good time at the goddess party if she was not intoxicated. Because she was intoxicated, all of her senses were down, and she's Queen Nice Nasty. When she's drunk, she's just King Nasty. However, I still am very disappointed that she did not at least stay and allow Kandi and Cynthia to reenact what her and Kenya should have done in their conversation. Because when Cynthia shows her what she would have done had she got the opportunity to portray Nene, it was fun. It was funny. Nene even enjoyed it because she was sober. And again, I think these ladies knew that this was the perfect time to get some good camera time out of her and really poke the bear while she's intoxicated. Listen, a lot of them are producing storylines. I'm not hating. I'm just calling out what I see. You know what? We all do this, so I ain't even going to drag Nene for this, but I love when people retell like an argument or a disagreement that they had with another person to someone who wasn't there, especially if it's a partner or a friend. They always make it sound like they were just angels and just was attacked for no apparent reason. Because the way Nene is telling all of her issues back to, or telling all of her incidents that she had with Kenya to Greg, like retelling them, I'm just like, you would think that Kenya was just this mean person who had this evil beef with you and did not like you and wants to tear you down. Now listen, that may be true, but Nene, you did some stuff. You did some stuff to get that reaction out of her. Yes, you did call her child a buffalo. I do agree with her that she did not intend for it to mean that Brooklyn is a buffalo. She was trying to call a pregnant woman fat. A pregnant woman who almost died giving birth. The fact that she said it like that, like it was better, it wasn't, Nene. It wasn't better. You were still attacking on this season at that time 2 pregnant women. Kenya wasn't even a friend of the show at that time, but she did come to an event and Nene made those comments about her while she was also texting Porsha and telling her how fat and hideous she looked while pregnant. Like, girl, you're wrong. You are wrong. But baby, let me tell you something. I was getting my life laughing at this retelling. I'm like, what? And I had been trying to be nice to her, okay, honey? I was trying to be real cordial, and she just did not want to talk to me for whatever reason. So I simply said when she walked by me that, oh, she just might be having a buffalo. That was it. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't, because you were just like, looks like she's having a buffalo. Like, she did a whole face and everything. And I'm like, Nene, poor Greg. He knows his wife is a mess. So he's just like, oh, really? I can't believe it. He knows. He knows. He has to know. Kenya's deterioration of her marriage in like less than 2 years. This is just sad. It's so sad because, well, one, a marriage is just falling apart, especially a marriage that involves a child. It's just really sad when anything that is supposed to be beautiful falls apart so terribly and like it's on national TV. What's really sad about it is that she sacrificed a really huge paycheck, damn near her career, to be with Mark. And because of that, she's back on a show that she helped popularize, but she's not even making the same amount of money as a friend of the show. And I know that there are Kenya stans who come here and it's just like, oh no, she's making more money than Nene. I know you want to believe that. I know you want to believe that. But let me give you some tea. When your girl refused to put Mark on the show, and when she got married and did not inform the show, did not have any cameras there, did not have any footage to give to production, she messed up her relationship with the network because it was a huge part of her life that they were not able to see and they were not able to profit off of it. I know she wanted to have some things private. I know Mark didn't want to be a part of this. Unfortunately, when you sign up for reality TV, you sign away your life to these producers. You sign away your life to the network. It just is what it is. If you don't want to play the game, don't get on reality TV. Because she did that. Even though she had a great storyline, she was pregnant, she was happy, she was in love, the network did not want to play ball with her because they did not like what she did. Let me tell you something. The network will fire you. They will punish you. They will do whatever they have to do to let you know who the boss is. None of these housewives run that network. None of them run Andy. Because I know that he's really good friends with a lot of these housewives, but guys, he let go a lot of his stake in Bravo TV to become the host of Watch What Happens Live. Because at the end of the day, Andy was a part of creating Bravo TV, but Andy just really wanted to be talent and not some head honcho in a pinstripe suit running a company. He did not want to be in an office. He wanted to be on stage. So he gave away a lot of his authority. He gave away a lot of his stake in the company to be a host because he could not do both. So he might have some say-so, but he does not have the final say. There's a board of directors that runs that company. There's a board of investors that run Bravo, and you have to go through all of them to get any kind of approval for whatever show that they put on that network. So when she did that, she messed herself up because she was not playing ball with the network. They all do that. They get fired, they come back, they don't want to negotiate with the network says peace. They come back because they realize life off of reality TV doesn't really translate well for everybody. Everybody can't have a Cardi B come up. You know what I mean? It doesn't happen for a lot of people. So they do come back, but at this point, you're coming back on the network's terms, so you have to play ball with them. They are not going to play ball with you. Your girl is not getting the same rate. I promise you, she's getting less than Marlo, because Marlo play ball with the network. And so that's why I think it's so sad, because this show was her career. This show, I mean, she has Kenya more hair care and all that stuff, but ain't nobody paying her like the Real Housewives of Atlanta, even currently, and she gave that up to be with him and then came back at a lower rate because of him. Like, she really tried to make this work and really sacrificed a lot. And Mark as well. You know what I mean? If you don't want to be a part of reality TV, it's a really huge sacrifice that you have to make for your partner. So for both of them, there was a lot of give and take, but I just feel so bad that she sacrificed so much. And in 2 years, it's over. I know they're reconciling. I hope it does work out for them, especially for Brooklyn. But it's just, man, to have given up so much and to invest in something, thinking that it'll be for a lifetime, and it didn't even make it to the 2-year mark. And not only did it not make it to the 2-year mark, you found out about your divorce through a press release that your husband gave to a publicist. Whoo! She's a nasty person, but I'm not a nasty person, so I don't wish that on anybody. I was just like, ugh, this is ugly. At first, I thought she was faking this, but I was like, I don't see Kenya humiliating herself like this for a paycheck. I see her humiliating somebody else, but not her damn self. Not Miss Kenya. If anybody has any tea on this, please let me know. I told you my connect for the Real Housewives of Atlanta no longer works for the show, so I only have old tea. If anybody knows what is up with the fact that Kenya can't speak to his parents, like she said when she was talking to her lawyer that he said that she can't talk to his parents. And I'm like, why is that? Is it because he has issues with them, or does Kenya have issues with his parents, or does his parents not approve of the relationship? Like, that's really huge for your spouse to say, you cannot communicate with my parents. You can't just say that and leave it right there. There has to be some kind of explanation that follows that, because that is some really huge information. Like, how can you marry somebody and you are forbidden to speak to their parents? That's very weird. She keeps on releasing like little things about this marriage when she gets a little frustrated. And I guess, you know, you get to a point where you're comfortable with the cameras, so stuff just starts coming out. And I'm just like, girl, you get in your confessionals and you make it seem like this was a love roller coaster when it really seems like the midnight train to hell. It just does not seem like the fairy tale that she tries to give off sometimes. Who got the tea on that? Let us sister know in the comments section below. Speaking of her lawyers, I really don't think that this is smart. I know that her and Mark are reconciling right now, but I still don't think that it is smart for her to come on camera and talk about, when at this point she's divorcing Mark, to talk about assets that you're hiding, that you don't want him to be able to have access to. If this reconciliation doesn't work out, he has this clip that he can take to court and say, she's saying that this is all that she can afford in spousal support. If Kenya happens to make more money, he can use this and say, well, she's saying this is all she had, but I know that she has more because in this clip, she's trying to hide assets from me. So I was just like, this isn't smart. This isn't smart. I know you're reconciling. I hope it works out. If not, This can be used in court. If y'all don't know, a lot of these housewives and house husbands, they get sued a lot. And Bravo is brought into court a lot. And one thing Bravo don't do is mess around with the judicial system. They give the courts every and anything they ask for on their talent. They don't play, not at all. How you think Joe Giudice got put out of the country? Bravo helped with that. They said, what you need, Your Honor? Here you go. Bye, Joe. And milk that storyline for all it was worth. Do not for 1 second believe that the network is your best friend. It's not. It's not. And let's talk about another thing that I just do not think is smart legally. I don't think this can work, because Kenya is also sitting down with her lawyer talking about who she wants Brooklyn to go to if something happens to her, and also getting her estate together for Brooklyn if something happens to her. Very smart, right? After she leaves her lawyer, she goes over to her aunt Lisa and she hands her this paperwork and says that if anything happens to Brooklyn, Mark and I both agree that you are the best guardian for her. My issue with that is Mark wasn't there. This is something that Kenya is saying. So Kenya is saying that if anything happens to me, you are going to get custody of Brooklyn. However, you're handing her these papers. None of us have seen Mark also sign over his rights as a parent to your cousin or your aunt if something were to happen to you. So none of that seemed legal or right to me. I was just like, where is Mark in this? And I know you're telling us, Kenya, that he agreed to that, but I'm just like, he isn't there and we haven't seen him sign anything. So I don't know if this is storyline, because this just does not seem legal. Like, if anything happens to Kenya, Brooklyn is going to Mark because that's her father. Like, that just makes sense legally. Listen, I'm not saying that I know the law like the back of my hand, but I'm saying I watch a lot of Judge Judy, and what Kenya was saying did not seem kosher. What happened to her aunt, the blonde one, her mother's sister? What happened to her? Because I remember they did have a little disagreement a couple of seasons ago when Kenya was upset with her for siding with her sister. But I don't really think the aunt was like being that terrible. I remember watching that back, and I think what was happening was, I don't think that the aunt wanted to be in the middle. I don't think that she wanted to throw her sister under the bus. And I also don't think that she did not want to seem like she wasn't there for Kenya. She seemed stuck for me. She really seemed stuck. And I think she also was saying, just stop this. Like, stop bringing the cameras to the house. Like, if you want to confront your mom, if you want to talk to her without the cameras. She won't, because she don't like you. But bringing the cameras to her home and doing all of that, you're just adding fuel to the fire and giving her a case against you. That's what I got from their interaction. But after that, we haven't seen anything from the aunt. And I was thinking when Kenya was just like, Brooklyn is going to go to my aunt, I thought it was the blonde aunt on her mother's side. I didn't know that it was her aunt on her father's side. What happened there? Are they still having issues from that season where the aunt was just like, I don't want to be in the middle, or leave my sister alone? Are they still like not talking over that? Oh, Kenya, I hope that's not the case. Like, ma'am, you can't keep on getting into everything with everybody. I feel like at some point you have to realize it's you. You know what I mean? Like, at some point you have to sit down with yourself and be like, you know what? You're having issues with everybody. You fall out with everybody. You're losing friends, you're losing allies, you're getting into it with a lot of people. At what point do you stop and say, what's going on with me? Because if I'm always in these situations, I gotta be the problem. At what point do you have that conversation with yourself, Kenya? I feel like you need to. I really, really do, especially since you're raising this beautiful little girl, because baby, you would be mortified and heartbroken if you end up creating the same relationship that you have with your mom. Whatever that is, mama, you got to fix that. You got to fix that, because you will end up repeating that. You will end up repeating that cycle. Whatever that is, deal with that. Deal with that. Don't repeat it. Kill that generational curse. We all got to do that. I do that daily. So that ain't no shade. That ain't no hate. Kill that generational curse before it poisons your bloodline. Let's talk about Kandi. The working mom never wins. It's so unfortunate. So Kandi is talking to Todd and Ace through FaceTime, and Ace is like ignoring Kandi and like playing with this toy or whatever and telling her to look at the toy. And Todd is like, no, you have to look at your mom. And Ace doesn't want to. And then he starts breaking down and saying that he misses his mom. I'm telling you guys, kids, They can't communicate like adults, but they know and they feel like adults, because Ace was actually trying to guard himself from interacting with his mom because he missed her so much. He did not want to fall apart. Like, he was trying to hold his tears in. And then when Todd like addressed it and Kandi addressed it, he just fell apart. He just fell apart. And I felt so bad for him. I felt bad for Todd. And I even felt bad for Kandi, because you don't want to leave your child. You know what I mean? But it's just, as a woman, you can't do both in society. And it's so frustrating, because if you have dreams and you have ambitions, nobody really supports you, and everybody makes you feel bad for going after those things and still having children. We can have it all. We should be able to have it all. Men can have it all. Women can have it all. And I really felt bad for Kandi in this episode. And also how she's being portrayed, because I knew when I watched this, I was just like, there are going to be very few people rooting for her. And that is the case. That is the case. Everybody's just like, you got to take off time and you got to go home and be with your child. I totally understand that, because watching that, if that were me and my kid is crying, I probably would have shaved some things down and been like, you know what, I got to spend a little bit more time with my baby, because my baby is, crying for me, right? However, I'm thinking back to my mom. My mom, single parent, working, several full-time jobs. My little sister is hanging on her leg while she's walking out of the door crying because she wants her mom to be there. But if mama don't work, we don't eat. There's no choice. But instead of getting mad at capitalism, we just get mad at the parents because they're not doing enough, especially the mothers, right? I think that a lot of people don't understand that if Kandi doesn't work, everybody that she takes care of doesn't eat. She is a boss. She has several people in her company. She's also taking care of her family. She's also running several businesses. She has multiple employees under that. She has to continue to work so that everybody can eat. Nobody's getting that, but they're also calling her a bad mom because she's not there for Ace when she's in Chicago making money with a partner who will not compromise. That is the thing. I get Todd wanting to see his wife. I get Todd being upset because she is not there with Ace, because even when she comes back, he's still, upset with her, because as soon as she gets back, Don Juan fills up her calendar with all of these things that she has to do for work, to make money, to take care of everyone. Everybody blame her. Nobody want to help her lighten the load. I will say this though, Kandi, as the boss, you can't put it on Don Juan and be like, oh, Don Juan just filled up my schedule. I just got home. I wanted a few more days off. You're his boss. You can tell him, I'm not working this week. Anybody wants to book me, they can talk to me on Monday. But this week, I'm not doing anything. So that was just a little odd to me, because I was just like, girl, you can say no. Like, to your assistant. I don't know. That was really weird to me. But anyway, I was talking to her and he's really frustrated because he's just like, you just got here and now you're leaving for 2 days. I want to see my wife. My son wants to be with his mom. Totally understand that. But then Kandi is just like, well, why don't you come out to Chicago with Ace while I'm filming? Oh, I got stuff to do. So, okay, you're not helping. You're not helping. It's the stuff that you have to do. No shade, Todd. It's the stuff that you have to do making money. If it's not, pick up your baby, get on first class, and go to Chicago and spend time with Kandi. I just didn't get that. That did not make sense to me. You never said, oh, I gotta work too. You said, I have stuff to do. If that ain't work, you need to be in Chicago with Ace so that Kandi, after she wraps, can go and be with her child. That's the thing. Like, she's trying to work the situation out as well while working multiple full-time jobs to take care of everyone. Help the girl out. That is your wife. That is your partner. That is your help me. Like, help her out. Help her help you, because her celebrity and her having all of this money helps you make more money. I will say this to the people who are also saying that Todd is a gold digger and all of this stuff, right? I don't think that people understand that he was already working in production and producing and all kinds of things before he got with Kandi. He wasn't making Kandi money, but Todd was making good money in production. So I never saw him as someone who was taking advantage of her, because I knew how much like somebody in his position in production and working for the network would make, right? So I never thought that he was taking advantage of her, but it was very obvious that he did not have the same amount of money. But when he was talking to Kandi, he was really spitting some facts. And I was just like, sis, you need to listen to this lemonade, because he is speaking, okay? However, I wish he would have dropped his pride and tried to compromise at some point with his wife. Like, you guys are in this together. It's a partnership. Kandi is sitting here on her knees crying, and he's saying to her, do you want to be here? Excuse me? You kicking me out of my house? Like, that's the only thing. I'm like, let's not get too big for our britches, because at the end of the day, both of them houses is hers. So yes, she wants to be here. She owns it. Do you want to be here? Because you're not compromising. You're not trying to help her out in any way. That bothered me. That really bothered me, because I'm just like, how was Kandi the bad guy here? How is she the bad guy? She's working and taking care of everybody and providing opportunities for everybody to eat. She is definitely someone who takes care of her community. I need her community to start taking care of her. She's giving me MC Hammer. Do y'all know the story of MC Hammer? MC Hammer gave out to everybody. And when he got at his lowest of the low, nobody gave back to him. He had to lose everything and lose on them people that he was taking care of, and then start to slowly build himself back up. But he was never able to get to the point where he used to be at the height of his fame, when he was taking care of whole damn neighborhoods. Nobody wanted to help him. And I feel like that's the same thing with Kandi. Like, you know, you're getting mad at her for being booked and busy when this is how y'all eat. This is how y'all survive. And when there is a way for you to help her out, you deny that and say you're busy. And then your wife on camera is on her knees crying and trying to be affectionate to you and apologizing to you. And you fix your lips to say to her in her home, one of her homes, do you want to be here? I agreed with him all the way up until that. Up until I got stuff to do, and do you want to be here? Man, y'all got to tuck in y'all balls and get some sense. Because that ain't no way to talk to no woman who's been taking care of you and fighting for you and defending you even when her mama said no. Kandi deserved better. Period. Eva, why is you here? What? Like, Eva has no storyline but being pregnant. Like, this next season, I feel like if you come back next season, you want to give something, because everybody is talking about how you have no storyline but being pregnant. Congratulations on your children, especially this new baby, because this baby is Mike's twin. Eva's first son is her twin. The second son is all Mike. I was just like, this baby has his father's entire adult face. Like, there is no Eva. That baby is all Mike. Congratulations. But sis, you want to give something next season. You want to give something next season, because even this episode, I was just like, oh yeah, Eva's on this show. Like, I'm forgetting about you, Mom. You're going to have to do something. Also, I guarantee you that the house that they showed on this episode is not Eva's house. Not because I think that she's frauding and she don't really have a 5-bedroom home. I think she does have that. I think what she has is very similar to what they showed, but not the actual home, because her baby father is nuts. So I understand not really showing her real home, because I do know from the little information I got from my little plant who used to work for the show, that they never showed her real home. They never showed her real vehicle. They were really careful about what they showed of Eva, because she was really afraid for her life. Like, it's not a game. She's not playing when she says that she's afraid for her life and for her daughter's life and for her husband's life and her children, because this man is not well. We all see it, right? But sometimes I do think that you poked a little crazy bear. You know what I mean? Keep his name out your mouth. Stop talking about him. Stop giving that fool ammo. But to be quite honest with you, I think she has to talk about him, because she doesn't have anything else going on. This is her storyline. So hopefully next season, she's not pregnant and not talking about this baby father and giving us something. Because I honestly think that if she doesn't give anything next season, that's her final season. Now let's talk about Porsha's event. I thought this was beautiful. I thought it was such a beautiful event. I thought we were able to see the ladies in a different light, and I loved it. You guys know I've been very hard on this show because I felt like they never gave us balance, or they stopped giving us balance. And I think it's because the production company changed at some point. Something changed around the time that Phaedra and Kandi started to fall out. Something changed. Oh wait, I think Carlos was fired. Right? Because Carlos isn't there anymore. I know that Carlos King is not a lot of people's favorite person, but for me, I felt like he had the best eye for the Real Housewives of Atlanta. When he was at least over it, I felt like we were able to get a really good balanced show. Now, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing. But they're doing something that's good enough, because out of all the Bravo shows, The Real Housewives of Atlanta is still the top show. But they're not bringing in the views like they used to, but it's still one of the top Bravo shows, or the top Bravo show. So you can't hate them for that. They're doing something, but there's a difference here. I don't know what it is, but I've been craving balance from this show for a while. Now we're starting to get it back. I love seeing just a different side of the ladies. Everybody really coming together, sharing their stories about, just having difficulties with their pregnancies, not being able to get pregnant. Some of them realizing that they may not be able to have children, and really talking about the issues that a lot of Black women have while carrying a child, while trying to conceive, while trying to give birth. It is extremely deadly for Black women to give birth in the United States of America, because our lives are not valued, especially in healthcare. So I was glad that they were able to bring some kind of light to that. And this moment as well, for me, solidified that Marlo needs a peach. Marlo deserves a peach. I don't know why she does not have one. She still makes a lot of money as a friend of the show, but just hearing her open up, and she was just like, I'm rough with the girls, but I have my issues, and that is why I'm like that. And when she was talking about her ectopic pregnancies and just feeling like, God, why me? And then, being able to step in and mother her nephews and feeling like this was her purpose. It was beautiful. It was really, really beautiful. I thought it was a great way to end the episode, and I was really happy that we had that, because it gave us a different perspective on the women while shining a light on an issue that these women deal with. So it was a beautiful scene. It really, really was. And in all that beauty, there's always some messy, and the messy was Nene, because as soon as she got to this event, this beautiful event, the first thing that she says to the ladies, oh, did you hear that Kenya and her estranged husband, Mark, he's been cheating on her with multiple women. It was all over the blogs. I'm so glad that Porsha shut that down, because this event wasn't about that. And Nene was trying to be messy, because that's just Nene. And Porsha was like, nah. And I'm glad that Nene respected that, because it would have soured the event if she didn't. That's all I wanted to talk about. What did you guys think of this episode? Let's talk about it in the comment section below. And if you like what you see here, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I will see you next Sunday for the following episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Love you guys. Bye.